Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of suspending the rules for introduction of the second and third reading, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm a no.
Well, what was your?
I'd like to give it another month just to look at it.
Okay. So motion does not pass. So we will review this in the February council meeting.
It's been since 71, another month.
Would you like me to come to the February meeting as well in case there's questions that pop up?
Yeah.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you.
One problem I got is I didn't get all the way through it.
I understand.
Had it for a day and a half.
It's a good thing if you can't sleep to start, pulling that open, get a few pages in. And very good, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. So this will be added to the unfinished business for the February 5th council meeting. Okay, so I've got this one. Future business. I had none. Miscellaneous business.
You have to reach individual.
Yep. All right. President Pro Tem Spencer Kingery.
I have none.
Doyle? Let's do everybody. Any-
Nope.
Nope. Clerk Treasurer?
I was gonna say it's been a busy day down in our office. I just think everybody on the board needs to know, or everybody on the council needs to know, that I have found things that were buried deep on the desk, invoices that hadn't been paid, things that are 2 and 3 months old. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with now, is digging out from under some things. Also decided today, per training that we all attended, that with our office being what it is with the State Board of Accounts, that I've decided that if someone isn't bonded, it's probably a good idea that they are not coming in and just grabbing a credit card and signing it out. They need to ask one of us for a credit card so that we are covered and they are covered. And we're gonna leave those in where they are, so people aren't just gonna be able to come in and just grab that credit card and sign it out. They'll need to ask either myself or one of the 2 ladies in the office to have that credit card to be able to sign it out, so we know where it is at all times and it needs to be returned that same day. So we're not having credit cards floating out around. That way our office is practicing internal controls and we're covering ourselves with the State Board of Accounts, and so we know where our credit cards are, and just so we're covering ourselves financially.
Seems reasonable.
Are you gonna
I
address
think it's
for,
a reasonable thing.
are you gonna address the, like, if
I
someone's
am-
for training and stuff, like gone for a week for training, if they have a city card?
Yeah,
Make sure
I
all
mean,
that's- yeah.
we'll
Sign
address
it
that
out.
as need be. My issue is with the training that they had given us, and the girl that did the training, she said, no one comes into my office that isn't bonded and just grabs whatever and goes, and I think that that's a good rule of thumb, because if you're not bonded, you shouldn't be handling the money, and you shouldn't just be able to come in and get a card. And I think that has been a little lax, and so I think that's a practice that we need to start doing, just to make sure that everybody's covered and on the same page. Financially, I think it's just a good practice to cover that and to practice those internal controls.
So for our knowledge, is every department head bonded then, correct? Do we know?
I'll have to check into that, because I'm not sure that they are, but with the clerk treasurer's office, I mean, that's just something that I would, being in charge of that office, that's something that I wanna do. If anybody has any questions, my door is open. They're more than welcome to come in and ask questions. I have no problem with that. But I will probably be sending an email out to all the department heads and just letting them know, hey, this is something that we're gonna try start practicing, just so you're all aware. I don't want them to be blindsided with it, but I also want them to be aware that it's just a safety precaution for finances.
I think it's reasonable.
Yep. I agree. Julie, look at that discussion today, and it's been a very long day, so but we're working through it. Again, this is a council meeting on day 2, so we're chugging through some things, and we'll get your guys' laptop issues fixed as quick as we can. Again, day 2, we tried to get he worked on everything this morning. So we'll work through, make sure everything is back and ready to go for your February meeting. Public comment.
I have a couple questions.
Name and address.
I'll give you my name, Sharon Milburn. White Oak, Delphi. Just because you've got money in the budget and appropriated, if there's no funds, you're still not gonna be able to do those activities, correct? I mean, if there's no money, there's no money, whether you've appropriated and budgeted. If you budget $3 million and you have 500,000, you're only gonna be able to spend 500,000, right?
That is
Correct.
correct.
I just wanted, because that was the question I was gonna ask earlier, and you respectfully asked me to wait. Would you ever consider bringing the reports back so that the public can see the reports from the department heads? That was done 2 administrations ago, and I think it was kind of nice to be able to have those.
The reports that they send for the,
Yeah.
so today with, again, being day 2,
Right.
I got them, but
But I mean,
absolutely.
so that's something that you're going to bring back in, because the last administration did not do that.
Okay, so they're into the packets. Are you saying to just put
We
them out
used
to
to be able to
the?
pick them up when we came in the doors, like I
Okay.
said, 2 administrations ago.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm just asking if that would be something that you'd be willing to.
Sure.
The other is, I asked the last administration this, and I was told that it was not possible, but I would like for the council to consider having an opt-out program for trash cans. With the price rising, I have 1 bag of trash a month. That's a pretty expensive bag of trash. You know, I don't know if we go back to when the city used to collect it. I don't know what all the problems were with that, or vehicles or whatever. I don't know why we stopped doing that. But to give citizens a way to opt out of that, again, like I said, I go through 1 bag of trash a month. And that's just pretty expensive trash. And then when they were talking about the 191-page document, has that been available for the public from the beginning that we could review? Or has that just been available to the council?
I remember a link being available at one
Yes,
point.
it was on the website, city's
From
website.
the public.
Yeah, it's been on the city's
Okay.
website.
Share
And
it on
then they had
Facebook also.
2, I believe, 2 public
Corrections.
meetings.
And
But
corrections.
the document's been available?
Yes.
And
Yes,
it's
it's been
still
on
there
the
somewhere that
city
we can
Facebook, or the
access it?
city
Yes.
website, correct, yeah.
As it's been amended, it's been updated
Okay, all
on there.
right,
That's
that
true
was,
too.
that was all my questions, thank you.
JT, did you have any?
Yes, I just wanted to give a public thank you to the Carroll County Community Foundation. I hope you all noticed on the square the kiosk cabinets that are out there. And they funded those by grant through our Delphi Main Street. So I just want to thank the Carroll County Community Foundation for that funding for those kiosk cabinets. You notice it's got a business map and business indicator language on one side. It's got community event information on the other side. And our plan with that is quarterly to have that event side updated. I just want to thank the Community Foundation for that funding.
Thank you, JT. Yeah. State your name and address, please.
Yep, Gail Connor, 510 East Franklin. Over the last 5 years, a couple of PACER surveys have been done to designate the conditions of sidewalks in the cities of Delphi, and they've been color-coded. I know they've been made public, but unfortunately, that has not been a high priority of spending for the council. Comments have been made that we're putting money aside, we're gonna get back to it, and I understand during COVID there were issues. It just seems that has not been a priority to take care of our sidewalks in certain areas of town that are delineated as red on those PACER surveys. Money is appropriated every year. I see where money gets transferred at the end of the year out of that fund to pay for engineering for BFS or somebody, $60,000, $70,000. I know we have 11 miles of trails in the town, and this city has sunk millions into that. I would just like to ask the council to consider that as a higher priority. Something for the citizens. They shouldn't have to really be mowing where their sidewalk should be. I think that's an embarrassment when people come in my neighborhood. People come every week to the funeral home, and it's probably dangerous for them to be walking back to their vehicles at night when sidewalks aren't there. And it's something that, whether it's 100%, a 50-50 match, I just think it should be a higher priority. I want to compliment the newer members of the council tonight for talking about reading the ordinances and trying to be prepared and stepping back on things. I think it's a shame that the suspension of the rules even came before you tonight. That was unnecessary. It's unfair to you. And the suspension of the rules is really supposed to be more of an emergency usage instead of just random or whenever. So I appreciate some of you pulling back on that tonight so that you can get informed before you make your decisions as elected officials. So thank you for that.
Sean Isaacs, 106 East North Street. Kind of piggybacking off of Doyle, I'm kind of going to Sharon trying to speak up. I think this council really needs to give a lot of consideration to letting the public speak. You're sitting up there because you were voted in by the city, and when you go through a whole agenda and the public is not allowed to speak until the very end, what is the point? You've already voted on everything. If you really care what people think, then give them an opportunity to speak. I don't care if something is posted on the website. Not everybody has the ability to go on there and find things. There was absolutely no reason for Sharon not to be able to speak when you were addressing the issue that was being discussed. I get right now that that may not be your procedure, but you sincerely need to consider rethinking your procedure because it's pretty pointless after you've already voted on something.
Any other public comments?
Debbie Lowe, former comment reporter, battleground in the country resident. But I'm wondering, how much was the Main Street contract that you approved tonight? How much was that for?
15,000.
50?
15. 1-5.
It's paid quarterly.
And that's from Edit, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then how many buildings received facade improvement money?
Facade improvements.
We had one project that was completed in
Completed.
2023 that received the reimbursement pursuant to the facade improvement guidelines, and we have 4 applications that are out
4
there
applications.
to
Yeah.
do some additional work.
And so the one project received how much?
They would have received the 5,000.
5,000.
The 5,000, which would have been the reimbursement for the work that they had done.
And is that money? Does that money come from the general fund, or from Edit, or
Edit.
what?
Edit funds.
Edit.
Yep.
And then the Butler, Fairman, and Seifert contract. How much is that? That you approved tonight?
The resolution?
Yeah. For the contract. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a contract. This was a resolution to
To start the
start
planning
the
for
planning for the community
and it was-
crossing.
How much
I
are they
think
gonna charge?
20,000 is what it
Okay.
was,
No match.
yeah.
No, that was the.
There's the
No.
75-25 match, but there's
Yeah, this is a
not a
contract
contract
with
in place.
Butler, Fairman, and Seifert to do the work.
So are you asking what the contract amount is for the project moving forward? Or?
No. How much are they charging to do the work, to get ready for the project?
I'd get back to you on that. I have the proposed language that's gonna go to them to get them started to get the grant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
So you don't know.
I don't have it, no. Don't have that, I can get that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just have one more. Have you received the form from the DLGF? And Julie, you may not know this, that the 2024 budget has been approved. There's a form
The
they sent.
1782 form,
How much?
the 1782 form.
Yes, it is.
It should have come out in December, so,
It should have.
I mean, all.
The
all
county
my-
got theirs in December, yeah.
All of my government agencies have already gotten them, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that it came out in December to you as well. That's on the Gateway website, you can find whether it exists.
Did you see that today, Julie, by chance? No?
There's a lot of
Okay.
things.
I just thought
That
I'd ask.
probably
Yeah.
wasn't one of them.
No. But it won't be, in order for it to be on Gateway, that form would have went out, correct? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It should have been received by the clerk
Correct.
treasurer's office, yeah. And I have lived through, the county going broke, and I know that when there is not enough money to support the appropriations, the county council had to reduce the appropriation amounts. And so I just wanted to make sure that was okay here.
Any other public comments? None?
Motion to adjourn?
Got a motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Council meeting's adjourned at 6:49 PM.